thank you, Chris, for managing expectations about my speaking. That's very kind of you. Good morning. It is a real pleasure to be here today, and it's also an honour to be in a room with so many people who spend their lives saving other people's lives. That has to be the best job, the most important job in the world. And I'm very happy to be here today. Now, there was real success last year again in reducing the number of people who were seriously injured or died on our roads. And it's fantastic, it's really good that more people are being saved, that fewer people are dying and being injured. And it is, I think, part of society's failure, collective failure, that we do have so many road deaths and injuries. Because, of course, other countries do aspire to a zero death rate, which I think is what Britain should be doing, what London should be doing. But at the moment, it looks a little bit out of our grasp. And, of course, however few deaths you have, it's still too many. And, in fact, the way things are going now, I am concerned that things might be about to get worse. Now, the previous decade, under Ken Livingstone, our previous mayor, all credit to him, I think he's still a patron of Roadpeace, he was absolutely serious about reducing road deaths. And I was very fortunate that he did allow me to be the road safety ambassador and to actually push it as hard as I could with Transport for London and on the Assembly. So I am very grateful to him. But now there are worrying signs about things that are happening. For example, there's the disastrous closing down of the safety camera network in London and many other parts of the country. I just think that's folly. And of course, £10 million has been cut from London's road safety budget. And I imagine there's going to be a lot more cuts to come as we move towards the comprehensive spending review. Local authorities are going to be probably experience cuts, and that means more cuts in road safety. Now, these changes are going to have an impact. They're going to have an impact on Londoners, and they're going to have an impact on your work. And in fact, we have already seen a slight rise in the number of pedestrian slight casualties after 9 consecutive years of year-on-year falls in those numbers. And other proposals can also have a negative impact, such as the present London Mayor's command to the boroughs that they must close 145 pedestrian crossings. Now, I've visited several of these crossings, and I can tell you it is barking mad to close the ones I've visited. And I'm told by local people that many of the suggested, commanded closures will have a very damaging impact on their lives as residents. They won't be able to get their children to school as easily, older people won't be able to cross the road as easily, and of course, in some places, cars actually won't have it as easy because the stream of traffic on some of the roads means that they'll have problems getting onto the main road. It is a ridiculous thing to do, and I've spoken to Transport for London, and they assured me that this was only a suggestion from them, that they were trying to save the boroughs money, and it was just, to help the boroughs. And on the other hand, Coolville Ranger says how annoying it is to sit in a car at some red lights. So that's Transport for London and the Mayor's Transport spokesperson, who seem to be in conflict about the real motive behind closing 145 crossings in London. So we have to organise ourselves to do what we can to compensate for these changes. Now, Roadpeace has done some fantastic work. For example, lobbying against the planned closure of the specialist unit dealing with lorries and cyclists. This again was a TfL, Transport for London, cut, and we have been very fortunate because with Roadpeace's lobbying and other people's support, the Met's traffic branch has actually taken on this work, and so now it's coming out of their budget. So all credit to the Met Police traffic officers. And of course, there's been partnership working with the police to improve the way that they do handle investigations and treat relatives of the people who have been injured or have suffered in some way. I would like to give huge personal thanks to Roadpeace because they are an amazing organisation. it would be difficult to imagine what life would be like for Londoners in particular, that's my experience, but people UK-wide who couldn't go to Roadpeace at a terrible time in their lives when they are least able to cope with a tragedy and the aftermath. So Roadpeace does an amazing job, and I think if we didn't have them, we'd have to create them. London is made better, a better city by Roadpeace. So a huge thank you to Roadpeace. Thank you.